Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars TIE Fighter and X-Wing mashup from Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, which, as of the recording of this video, September 13th, 2024, has just been released. I plan on making my own a little review video on that, basically telling you guys my thoughts on the miniseries as a whole. And as that video will probably be released before this one, you can check out that video on the card in the top right corner of your screen right now. Anyway, this set number is 75393, comes with 1,063 pieces, plus 5 figures, and retails for $110, which puts it just a little above that 10-cent per piece price point that everyone seems to think is the rule instead of the exception. I will be the first to admit, LEGO has been doing these fighter combo sets almost from the beginning of LEGO Star Wars, starting with the Y-Wing and Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. And we've gotten quite a few after that. We've gotten quite a few Jedi Starfighter and Bolter Droid combos. We've got the Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and A-Wing from Rebels, the Mandalorian Fang Fighter and TIE Interceptor from Mandalorian Season 3, which was the very first set review I ever did. Then we got the New Republic E-Wing and Shin Hati's fighter from Ahsoka. So, considering all those combos, I think it was safe to say it was only a matter of time before LEGO finally got around to doing the iconic fighter combo of the X-Wing and TIE Fighter. So, I think so. It is nice that they finally got around to doing that. Taking a look at the front of the box shows off both the ships in all their glory and a little bit of a dogfight in space. Although mixing up with those clouds makes me wonder if that's supposed to be like a nebula or something. Plus, and of course, it shows off all 5 of your figures. And since this is part of the Rebuild the Galaxy, it shows off the little gimmick of rebuilding the X-Wing and TIE Fighter into the TIE Wing and X-Fighters. Which, fun little detail, those are not LEGO original designs. Those are actually from the original Star Wars Expanded Universe, or what is now known as Star Wars Legends, as type of fighters called Uglies. Which, well, for one thing, they definitely earned their name because they aren't exactly the prettiest looking ships, but Mashup is exactly what Uglies are. They're ships that are basically taking parts from multiple ships and then smashed together. And there's actually quite a few of those, not only in canon, which both of these are actually. Both of those ships are actually canon to Star Wars Legends, but there are also quite a few other canon ugly ships. So yeah, it's actually nice that LEGO is actually acknowledging LEGO Star Wars Legends in this set. They haven't actually done that since the mid-2000s with the TIE Defender and the TIE Crawler. Admittedly, the TIE Defender is now canon as it showed up in Rebels, but it showed up in Legends long before that. So yeah, it's nice that LEGO is once again acknowledging LEGO Star Wars Legends in their sets. So yeah, fun little nod there. Taking a look at the back of the box, you can see both of the ugly versions of these ships being put together, along with all your figures, and opening the cockpit. As you can see, this box does have the push tabs, so you do have to damage the box in order to open it, but we'll go ahead and get this thing open. Also, speaking of the box, before we get into everything in the box, one thing I almost forgot to mention is that despite this being on the shelf at the same time as the E-Wing and Shin Hati Starfighter, and them being the same price, you take a look at the box. If you can take a look at the boxes side by side, despite this set being again the same price and only having about 10 parts more than the E-Wing and Shin Hati fighter, this box is actually significantly smaller than the E-Wing and Shin Hati box, which I gotta admit I'm actually kind of surprised about. I don't know, maybe LEGO's trying to use less cardboard in their boxes. I don't know. Anyway, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. and two instruction manuals, and one sticker sheet, which looks a whole lot of stickers, to be honest. And it looks like the stickers are going to be a solid balance between both the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. So I imagine both of there's reason for two instruction manuals, and that is the fact that you can build this with a friend or a loved one. Like one of you builds the X-Wing, the other builds the TIE Fighter. So let's take a look at instruction manual number 1. Again, an ad for paper bags in a set with no paper bags. All right, looks like, yep, instruction manual number 1 is the TIE Fighter, and as you see, it does have a little nod to the 20th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. So, and taking a look at the back of the instruction manual for the TIE Fighter, you see all 3 sets for Rebuild the Galaxy, both this set, the Jedi Bob Starfighter, and the Dark Millennium Falcon. As for the X-Wing, let's see what we got in this guy. So this one just jumps straight into the build. Anything else besides the besides the parts list? Nope. Basically just shows, looks like it just shows how you do the swap between the 2 mashup fighters. Alright, so this looks like it's going to be a fun build. We'll go ahead and jump into the time lapse for this build, starting right now. Alright, the builds are done. That'll take about 2 hours, about an hour for each ship. And there's some pretty fun, interesting builds. Let's go ahead and jump right into the figures. Starting off with the one you start off with, the Imperial TIE Fighter pilot. My bad there. The pilot looks... the pilot itself looks... Whoop. There we go. Got some good line there. TIE Fighter pilot looks pretty good. Good markings all around, both on the helmet and torso. It does come with your standard Han Solo style blaster pistol. Oh, again, good markings all around. Got the Imperial logos up on the top of the helmet. Again, see some imprinting on for where the eyes are supposed to be, and then of course the Stormtrooper style mouth, and the attachments of where the hoses that go into the life support system go. Oh, got some good metallic printing all around, plus some pockets on the legs. Taking a look at the back, is the new style Imperial pilot helmet, so you can't see the back of the head, but you can. But also some good printing on the back of the torso. And taking off the helmet, you can see that it is a female pilot, and I believe that would be like a medium nougat skin color, which looks really good. And she's basically the new angry clone. Next up, we have one of our 2 heroes, who's Yagi Scala, who, as I understand, that last name Scala is actually a reference to one of LEGO's first attempts at making a girl-focused theme. First, I believe, was Scala, then it was Bavel or Belleville, whichever it's pronounced. But then LEGO finally struck gold with LEGO Friends. I believe she uses the Jaina hairpiece from Rise of Skywalker. Take that off. You can see she's got a yellow stripe, I think it's supposed to be like some sort of headband around. Although I will say that the printing on this one is definitely crooked. It didn't really come out so well. But I do like the neutral face print along with the angry face print and as well. And you notice, unfortunately, again, that headband is again rather crooked. Here's what the back of the torso looks like. Nothing too going on with the exception of the belt. But Front torso looks really good. Like you got like the blue gray a jacket. I believe those are supposed to be some sort of pilot and goggle also hanging from her neck again with the belt. Oh, and some metallic printing both on the goggles and yeah, the belt buckle, and some metallic printing on the shin on the like knee armor here. Plus, they even put in a little brown on the where the boots will be. And her accessory is her gaffy stick from the alternate reality. Yes. So yeah, not bad ad for one of our main characters. Next up, in the order that you made them, we get our astromech droid, or as people have come to call it, the McDonald's Happy Meal astromech droid, L3GO, aka Lego. He's basically in R2D2 with Lego's main colors. Oh, or unfortunately, also McDonald's, because unfortunately, both Lego and McDonald's have the same logo colors, those being red, yellow, and white. But yeah, he's basically mm, a McDonald's colored R2D2, who, unlike the headband for Yagi, I believe. Wait to double check and get that name real quick. Yesy, my bad. Yesy Scala, my bad. Hmm. But well, yeah, unlike Yessy's print, the stripe that goes around the astromech looks really good, really straight. And I do like the color scheme. It's an interesting color scheme in for Astro Droid, a unique one. One thing I will say with mine, I don't know why, but this left leg from the droid's point of view feels really loose. I don't know why. I really don't know, but it feels looser than it's supposed to be. Yeah, yeah. Other than the interesting color palette, it is your basic astromech droid. Next up, we have something rather unique: a generic rebel pilot. I believe, he does use the classic Rebel Pilot and helmet with some good printing both on the front and the sides, like the addition of the Rebel insignia on both sides, plus the unique printing on both of the ears and the front. And here's what his generic head looks like with the printed uh, and face screen, and he does have a bit of a more serious face on the back. Good printing on the back with just a little bit metallic coloring on the two belts. Well, the chest piece is very detailed. I like that the holes for the life support system is pretty fluid, both on the torso and the hip piece is. So yeah, a lot of good printing on him as well, and he once again comes with your classic Han Solo style pistol. So nice look, it's a good looking rebel pilot. And finally, we have the guy who started it all, Sig Griebling, who, much like Yesy, his name is very much a nod to Lego, with his first name Sig being a nod to Sig or signature figures. Basically, basically signature figures are like what Lego YouTubers, much like myself, see themselves looking as a Lego minifigure, and then Greebling is just a technical term for basically making ship models just look cooler by adding a bunch of small random details on it, because why not? Anyway, Sig looks really good. Nice, it's a generic looking face and hair piece, plus a added scared face instead for your second face, which very much fits into the character. Pretty basic printing on the back, but for the front, I do like the scarf with just a little bit of yellow in there. Jacket looks good. Same with the shirt, and I'm guessing that's supposed to be some sort of or a sash sash around the torso. Oh, good printing on the belt with just a little bit metallic gray. and his accessories are his Gaffy herding staff with a nice sneaky little robot arm attachment for the top, and of course the cornerstone. Although I wish they said that they had done some like metallic some like gloss painting on this to make it sparkle just a little bit more like you see in the show. For your five figures, I'd say it's a pretty solid looking lineup. Let's go ahead and jump into the builds for this TIE Fighter and X-Wing. And here is our TIE Fighter. Pretty small build, probably similar to the one that just retired, at least when it comes to size. Not really sure how it is compared to build. I never actually got that TIE Fighter. But for a small, like $50-ish TIE Fighter, I'd say this thing looks pretty good. Definitely one of the downsides is that they stick with the mixel joints for the front here, so we still get that dark gray mixel joint piece here. I really feel like Lego should just make both of these pieces in both colors. That way we can have both pieces in both the regular gray and dark gray. Get that problem out. The wings themselves look pretty good. I am happy to say that this is a printed piece, not a sticker. So that is nice. One downside is that right here, these unfortunately are stickers, which is a bit of a downgrade from the larger TIE Fighters. Take, for example, the, I believe, $70, $80 TIE Fighter that we got from Solo the Star Wars toy. Take a look at that. That's all one printed piece is on a sloped tile. Unlike this little guy, where it's multiple pieces is with stickers. And as you can see, I didn't really get these stickers all that well lined up, unfortunately. I'll be the first to admit, I'm sure you guys have figured out, I'm not the biggest fan of stickers in Lego sets. They will degrade eventually, and it is a pain in the neck in order to get them on correctly. Yeah. So yeah, one of the downsides of making this thing smaller, basically having to redesign the cockpit. Speaking of redesigning the cockpit, I will say the cockpit glass does look really good. I am happy to say that is a printed piece because it's such a pain in the neck to get pieces not only on curved, get stickers not only on curved pieces but transparent. That's a real pain. That's a real pain. But another one of the downsides of redesigning the cockpit is that you don't actually see into the cockpit glass. This glass piece is on a black on top of a black piece. Not actually doesn't actually look into the cockpit. But you can open up the cockpit. It is a little cramped in there. There isn't even any control panel for your TIE Fighter pilot, but he does fit in there pretty good. No studs holding him in there, so it's easy to get him both in and out. Might want to. There we go. Can kind of get him in there with his blaster pistol, but you don't want to have it facing forward. One nice thing that Lego did do with this TIE Fighter is take care of an age-old question. One thing you'll notice, with TIE Fighters in the real world, is that the fronts of their laser cannons, the laser emitters, are colored red. But everybody knows that Imperial ships fire green bolts. So everyone wants to ask the question, what color spring-loaded shooter shots do I want to use, red or green? Well, Lego decided to take care of both. They gave us both the red laser emitters, but in order to get the green bolts, they put the spring-loaded shooters in the wing supports. Alright, so now you can have both your red emitters and the green bolts. And of course, they fire off regular spring-loaded shooters. Just push down on the bolt and they will fire. Although I will say, where they are, considering how close they are to the cockpit, considering that's probably where most people want to pick this thing up. I will say you will want to be careful picking this thing up. Make sure you don't accidentally fire the bolts. I've actually done that once or twice already. Oh, so that's the front. Taking a look at the back, you can see your twin ion engines there. That's actually what TIE stands for, twin ion engine. And, unfortunately, once again, those are stickers. And like I said, you got the new spring-loaded shooters in the back. You will see that there are a couple Technic pins here at the bottom. Those will come in play later. So for like I said, a $50-ish TIE fighter, I'd say Lego did a pretty good job. Let's move on to the X-Wing. And here is our X-Wing, which looks pretty darn good from just about every angle. It's a pretty solid build. One thing I will say about this X-Wing is this section of the nose right here. For once, they actually got the striping for the X-Wing at least half correct. At least half correct. You take a look at stripings for Lego Star Wars X-Wings. Take, for example, the, I believe, 2020 X-Wing with those one-shot helmets. You notice that they have the red and white a bit spread out all over the place. But if you take a look at movies, this isn't accurate to how the striping on an X-Wing is supposed to look. It's far more accurate with this one, with red on top and white on the bottom. They did change that up a bit with the back half here, where it's all red, but that's because it's only two pieces. I'm not sure if that's due to them wanting to keep a specific piece count or its stability. Maybe a little bit of both. Oh, I could see that happening. Let me squeeze this a little bit tighter. There we go. Oh, but yeah, I will say it is nice to finally get the striping on the X-Wing a little bit more accurate. A little bit of a sticker on the front here. Cockpit opens pretty solidly. Unlike the TIE Fighter, there is a control panel here in the front. No control stick, unfortunately. So I still a bit of a quandary as to how in the world this pilot's supposed to fly his X-Wing. But much like the TIE Fighter, there aren't any studs in there. Just the just like that piece they created to, give a little grip to the feet. So again, he goes in there pretty solidly. Will come out pretty easily. Here, there's your spot for your astromech. Only 1x2 plates with jumpers in the middle. So again, he'll go in there pretty solidly, and it'll also be pretty easy to get him out. So here's how it looks like with both your figures in there. Nice bit of greebling along the back with like a roller skate piece. Got a couple ingots in the back. This piece back here is a sticker, but I think I got pretty good. And wings looks pretty solid as well. You do have to adjust them one by one to get them into attack position. Kind of like the old X-Wing, like all the way back from 1999. And also might be like the second most recent version of the X-Wing, the $50 one. Again, I don't have that set, so I'm not completely sure. But once you got to the S-Falls in attack position, it also looks really good. Of course, the builds for the wings are going to be rather repetitive, but hey, when you got four wings that look exactly the same, what are you going to do? I will say I do like the fact that how they built the engines, where there's a little bit of a gap here, so that when you fold up, it is a bit more flush in attack position. Plus, the way they do build it, you can't accidentally move the wings too far back. You can only move them into regular fight mode and attack position. You can't move them too far back. I do like the fact that they did that. What I don't like is that once again, much like the Rise of Skywalker X-Wing and the and the other most recent X-Wing, they only provide two spring-loaded shooters on the bottom. Don't know why LEGO started doing that with their X-Wings, but they did, and I'm not much of a fan of it, I will say. Yeah. Also, you may notice that this thing does have some folding landing gear. Doesn't fold all the the front one doesn't fold all the way in, unlike because some of the previous versions of the X-Wing, for example, that that 2020, I believe $80 X-Wing, but the back ones fold up about pretty far back. Probably won't notice. And one thing you may notice is that for an X-Wing, these landing gear are pretty darn tall. Oh, they actually go pretty high up. Let me see it. Let me fold these up and we'll do a little bit of a comparison with the 2020 X-Wing. And yeah, you'll notice those landing gear pretty darn tall. They make this thing sit pretty high off the ground. And that is due to one of the main plane functions. And that is, of course, this is a mashup set from Rebuild the Galaxy. So you can swap wings out to swap the X from X-Wing and TIE Fighter to the X-Fighter and TIE Wing. And that is where those Technic pins at the bottom of the ships come in play. Now, this is the first time I've actually done the swap out. So I don't know how easy or complicated it is to do the swap out. Here's where the pins are for the X-Wing. So yeah, this is the first time I've ever actually done the swap out. Don't mind me just shoot myself with a spring-loaded shooter. Alright. There we go. Come on. Yep. Come on. Yep. Think. L3G. Oh, yep. Just popped out. Whoop. And there goes the other one. Oop. Come on. There we go. Alright. I believe this is the TIE Wing. And here is the X-Fighter. Whew, there we go. Actually didn't take too long. I'd say maybe a minute or two. But no. Okay, I was gonna say that's why you have the super long landing gear for the X-Wing, so that it's balanced with the TIE Fighter wings. But it's actually able to balance all by itself just on the wing. So yeah, kind of makes the landing gear for the TIE Wing rather redundant. And I will say it's an interesting way for the combination, and also kind of explains why the back landing gear are pointed backwards, so that it can balance a bit easier when it's in the swap out version of it. So that's everything this set has to go for. Is to show off. Let's go ahead and go out to the outro. So before we go in the outro, we will take a look at the extra pieces. Along with your average orange brick separator, you do get an extra bolt for both ships, both in the red and green, extra Han Solo style pistol, a few other pieces, along with at least one other cornerstone. So nothing too crazy going on, but a nice selection of extra pieces nonetheless. So what do I think of this set? I think it's pretty good. As I said in the intro, between all the two fighter combo sets that we've gotten in recent years, like the Mandalorian Fang Fighter and TIE Interceptor, and the New Republic E-Wing and Shin Hati's fighter, I think it was only a matter of time before we got the classic fighter combo of X-Wing and TIE Fighter in a combo set. But doing it as part of Rebuild the Galaxy, where you could swap the two ships into the TIE Wing and X-Fighter, I think gave a set as generic as an X-Wing and TIE Fighter combo the gimmick it sorely needed. But I don't think they're the best versions of either one of these ships. I think that honor goes to the two versions of the ship I also showed off, the Solo TIE Fighter and the weird one-off helmet shot one-shot 2020 X-Wing. In fact, I'm not even sure that these guys are as up to snuff as the two previous small versions of the X-Wing and TIE Fighter, due to the fact that not only if you got both those sets, you would only pay $90.95 compared to the $110 for this set. You've got more figures. With the X-Wing, you got Luke, R2, Leia, and the very first General Dodonna. And for the TIE Fighter, you got the TIE Fighter pilot, a Stormtrooper, and an Imperial Protocol droid. So that's a total of 7 figures for about $95 compared to this set, which has 5 figures for $110. So I think it's not even the best value for two ships, but I do think that they are solid versions of these ships. If you don't have an X-Wing or TIE Fighter, I don't think you'll be disappointed with these guys. But I do think there are better versions of both the X-Wing and TIE Fighter out there. But it is nice to get both Sig and Yessi in this set, two of the main heroes from Rebuild the Galaxy. And I'm gonna get a little teary-eyed here, guys, because I will say that this set is gonna hold a bittersweet memory in my heart. If you guys have noticed my community tab notice, you will know that actually only 3 days ago, as of the recording of this section of the video, I had to put down my 10-year-old golden retriever Angel, and this set's gonna hold a bittersweet memory in my heart because this was the last set I built where she was in the room with me taking a nap. So yeah, this one's gonna hold a bit of a bittersweet memory to me. I know I said at the beginning of the video I was recording this the same day Rebuild the Galaxy came out, but it wasn't long after that wherein she started going downhill fast. So yeah, that's what's up with the gap between the intro and time-lapse, and basically everything else in this video, because my dog. Ouch. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this set. Not the best versions of the X-Wing or TIE Fighter, but if you don't have a version of either one of these ships already, I don't think you'll be disappointed with them. Okay, selection of minifigures despite the price, but I would say try to see if you can get this set on sale or use some VIP points to knock down the price. But again, pretty solid set for what it is. Anyway, that'll be the end of this video. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Check out some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later, everybody.